Hey students, I thought I would make a video for you so you could see me and hear me, and so I could explain a little bit about the syllabus and what we're going to be doing this semester. I teach writing very similarly to how I would teach writing any sport or performing any musical instrument, or how we would work if we were actors working on a play. I think it would be weird and ultimately unsuccessful if we were like a football team and we immediately played a game against another team, keeping that score. I feel the same way about writing. I don't think it's very useful or helpful for students to write an essay and then immediately get a final grade with comments, because they wouldn't be able to use those comments to better their writing. So just like if we were a football team, we're going to train, we're going to learn different things, and we're going to work together. Football players lift weights and run and do conditioning exercises. They scrimmage with parts of their team, and then they go off and have that big game. So essentially, we're going to be doing the same thing, and that's what the portfolio at the end of the semester is. It's the big game where you get a final grade. That portfolio is half your grade, and then the rest of the semester, I'm giving you points for completing activities that are going to be building up to that final. So you'll get points for doing response papers and discussion board posts. I teach writing through a process. A lot of you have probably worked through these processes before. Some teachers like to teach writing in 3 steps. I actually like to teach it in 4. So we're going to be doing a process of pre-writing, drafting, revising, and editing this semester. Mainly that means we're going to be focused on pre-writing, drafting, and revising. We're not going to worry about grammar or spelling or anything related to editing until we're all done with the essays at the end of the semester and they've had all their ideas worked out. The reason I've assigned response papers and discussion boards is because they're a great way to generate ideas for essays. These assignments fall into the first pre-writing category. When you pre-write, you might make lists, you might draft notes, you might research and read. You might talk to others. If you're me, you talk to yourself. You may free write without criticizing your ideas or just write a few paragraphs. Anything you do is to get these ideas started. So these 10-point response papers you can actually use in your essays. You can cut and paste those ideas. You might also get ideas in the discussion boards that you're welcome to use. That's how I see these, what we call low stakes assignments that aren't the essays. They're building up to concepts or building up to our essays. So the due dates you see for the essays are actually the date of our very first draft. A draft for me is an actual beginning of an essay. It has a middle and an end to a paper, but we're going to have many variations of these drafts. That first date for us is what I'm going to call the shitty first draft. Ernest Hemingway came up with this term. He was a famous writer in the 1920s. He said the first thing he wrote of any of his favorite novels was shit. And then Anne Lamott, who's a Northern California writer, wrote an article called Shitty First Drafts, where she talks students through the process of starting ideas and knowing that what we create first is not probably what we're going to stick with later. I'll call the first draft other things as well, but the name Shitty First Drafts is just freeing. It gives us comfort knowing that the first draft doesn't have to be and won't be perfect, and reminds us that we're going to be working on improving the draft all semester. So you'll get points for doing your drafts. You'll get points for looking at each other's drafts and giving comments. I'll give you points for the format of the paper and all that good stuff. And then you'll get actual comments from me on draft 2. And we'll work the rest of the semester on making that essay even stronger by doing different revision activities. At the very end of the semester, we'll work on a little bit of editing before you turn in those 3 essays into a final portfolio. Hope that explains a little bit about our different assignments and how this semester is going to work. It'll all become clear as the semester goes on, but email me if you have any questions. I look forward to seeing and working with you online.